Hey now, family. Y'all thought I was coming with a dashiki. No, I'm just joking. We have a lot to cover today, but the truth of the matter is that this particular live stream is going to be relatively short. And the reason why is because I am compiling some receipts right now. And that's the one thing that I can tell you all throughout this series, dealing with Umar Johnson school scam, is I have come with receipts, whether that is documentation or audio clips of Umar Johnson saying particular things. Yes or no? And so therefore, in the aftermath of Umar's school announcement, it's important that I take the appropriate amount of time to get my receipts together. And that's really what we're going to get in here today, talking about some questions that we should probably be asking about this school announcement, especially as it relates to receipts. I've done gotten so many messages from people, and people upset, but they're upset because they're emotional, and they're emotional because they've been triggered. Umar is playing you all. I'm talking to you supporters. He's playing you guys. You don't realize it right now because you're in a heightened emotional state. You don't realize it quite yet. And I understand. But there is something called logic and reason. See, there's nothing wrong with being emotional, but emotions compromise intellectual process. And right now, so many of you all, and I'm just being real about it, your intellectual processes have been compromised because Umar told you something that you had been hoping for. And it was a relief. It was a relief and a release too. You get to release all of the doubts that you had because he's been scamming and lying to you for the last 10 years about this school. But then you're also relieved. Oh, I wasn't wrong about Umar Johnson because he has finally purchased the school without any receipts to back it up. See, it's the emotional part. That is what causes us not to think critically about the situation. And I'm going to tell y'all something. As I'm gathering my receipts, and there'll be receipts, documentation, but there will also be audio clips, and we're going to analyze the audio clips. I was listening to some of the audio before I got started with this live stream, and I'm telling you that the only reason why people who continue to believe, and see, that's what it is. It's belief. You want to believe, and someone can tell you something, and you believe, not because they've given you proof, but because you want to believe. And it's emotionalism. It's not rooted in intellectual process. So I'm saying this to say that once the emotional rush, when you come down off of the emotional rush, and then you get, because it's just a cycle. That's all this is. He's putting you back into the spin cycle. And there's a reason for this. We'll get into this towards the end of this. He's putting you back into the spin cycle. And there's this emotional high right now. But when you start to come back down and then you start continuing along with this cycle, it'll be broken promise after broken promise after broken promise, and no receipts to back up any of his claims. And then you're going to get disappointed again. And then you may come to my page and say, you know what, something doesn't sound right. Maybe what you were saying and all the evidence that you gave about Umar's character and him being a fraud, maybe you're right about that. But then what he'll do is he'll try to tell you what you need to hear again. And then you'll get back onto that emotional high, compromise your intellectual processes, and then you come back and you'll be mad at me again. I haven't done anything to you. It's the hope and the dreams that you've placed in Umar Johnson. And when they are crushed by Umar Johnson, then you go and you try to find the information that allows you to accept that truth. But then when he makes another promise to you, he puts you back in that spin cycle. And then you're on an emotional high again. And then now you're mad at people who've been telling the truth about Umar Johnson. This has been going on for 9 years now, people, at least 9 years. This live stream is going to be a little bit different because This is more about preparing for what is about to go down. And what I mean by that is that although this seems like a victory for Umar, him making an announcement without any proof, I'm gonna break that down in a moment. He's actually he's dug himself a deeper hole. And based upon the receipts that I've been able to accumulate, and there's more than just me working on this. This is not going to turn out well for Umar Johnson, people. Legally speaking, it's not going to turn out well. Now, there's stuff that I can show you right now. There's audio that we can listen to, and there's receipts, there's documentation that I can show you right now that would cause you to say, wait a minute, whoa, he did play us again. But I'm going to wait because there's some very particular information that I need to verify, and I'm going to need to make some phone calls this week. And there's other people who are making these phone calls too and reaching out. People, you Umar Johnson followers, I know you feel good right now and you're being upset at me. You've been sending me messages and you've been saying you need to apologize. And no. It's just that you're in an emotional state. He's revved you up again. He's played you. That's all this is. And I'm going to prove that. But I'm not just going to prove part of it here. I'm going to prove it over time. This is going to take some time because as the receipts come in, I'm also going to prove it legally. He's playing you all. And the reason why is because he needs the money. And he knows that tax season is here and that some of y'all going to have a little nice tax refund. So it was necessary he's very calculating in this way. You guys have no idea the depths to which this man will scam and scheme. You have no idea. He's put you back in the spin cycle, and now you're in that cycle, and you feel so good. You feel so good right now. But he's going to let you down. It's like the father that says, look, the absentee father. He makes promises. He says, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that for you, and I'm going to come pick you up. I'll be there at 5 and on Wednesday. And Wednesday at 1 p.m., you want to wait 4 hours. You're looking out the window. Sound familiar? A lot of y'all remember this, right? And you're waiting for your daddy to come to pick you up to spend time with your daddy. And it's 2 o'clock, you get excited. It's 3 o'clock, you get excited. Sound familiar? No different than what Umar Johnson does. 5 o'clock comes and you see daddy's car coming down the street. You get so excited. You're, yes. Car gets closer and closer, and as it gets closer and closer, get so excited because there's a promise that was made, but no evidence or proof to back it up. But you see the car. So you're waiting, you're so excited, and you get on this emotional high again, and the car comes closer and closer, and you're watching it as it comes closer and closer, and it keeps going, and it drives right past the house, right past the window, and down the street, and doesn't come back. And then you're disappointed again, and you're sad, and you're upset, and you start to question daddy. But I've been telling you that your daddy wasn't shit for a long time. Some of y'all, you understand what I'm saying now. Some of you Umar Johnson followers, because it is a cult. You're going to fight tooth and nail until he proves that he's a fraud. But my job at this point is to come with receipts, the receipts that Umar Johnson didn't give to you. All he did was make the phone call and say he was going to come pick you up. That's what the announcement was. And you, Umar followers, I'm going to be real with it. In your naivety, you got excited and he put you on an emotional high again. I wonder what the haters are going to say now. My message has been consistent. Where's the school? When are you opening the school? That's the real issue. But people are willing to settle for crumbs, an announcement about a school location and a school purchase. That's not what this is about. It's about two things. It's about money. Where's the money? And number two, when is the school opening? Because it was opening a school, not purchasing the school. That wasn't the promise of picking you up at your house and you want to see your daddy. What was the promise? The promise was The promise was to open a school for all Black boys. Has he done that? No. But see, he's manipulated you for so long, and you have been in such an emotional downturn because the manipulation has been going on. He's been letting you down so much that when he just comes and just drives by the house and just looks in your direction, that's enough for you. But then he keeps driving by. And as he drives by, he snatches your pocketbook and he grabs some more money and some more and some more and some more. And that's what this is all about. So you can get mad at me and you can say, Leonard, I don't need to apologize for anyone because I'm not the one out here scamming and scheming. See, what Umar Johnson has done is he has positioned himself and he's going to attempt to do this, but it's not going to work. And I know why already, because I already have the receipts, or at least part of the receipt. There's two other elements of the receipts that I need. And I should have those very soon. If you're willing to wait for Umar to open up the school for, it's been going on, the scam's been going on for 9 years now. If you're willing to wait 9 years, then you should be able to allow me 2 weeks max to get because there's phone calls that needs to be made and there's some documentation that needs to be sent. But at this point, my job is to prove to you all, one way or the other, what Umar Johnson should have proved to you all. Because this getting back to what I was saying, the point is that the promise was that he was going to open a school. That's the point that I want to get at. So what I like to do during this live stream, and we're not going to be here long because and I'm not even gonna have a present. Well, I may show you some receipts. Y'all want to see some receipts with the PowerPoint? No, I'm not going to. I told myself I wasn't going to do that. I do have some notes, and basically I want to ask y'all 5 questions. I'm not going to keep you all long. It's Sunday. We got a snowstorm going, and I don't know how long my internet's going to be working. Okay. There's something else I want to say. I'm not here to demean those of you who are on this emotional high because you're actually a victim. You just don't realize it yet. And then you lash out. I understand that. I understand where you're coming from. And you send me messages and you're a coon. And, we already talked about this, right? In the last live stream about the name calling and you ain't this and you ain't that. And look at what, he opened it. Someone said he opened a school. What you going to say now? Did he open a school? See, the emotional part, that's what he's got you emotionally round up, but then he's going to let you down. It's only a matter of time. Oh, this was what I was going to say. But the reason why, and understand this, the reason why it was important for Umar Johnson to get you revved up at this point was to get the money. That's what this all comes back to. But there are some other things that are taking place behind the scenes dealing with GoFundMe and also dealing with PayPal, where he had no choice. He had to try to figure out a way to promise to drive by the house, to promise that the school is going to be opening, to promise that, I've purchased a school just to keep things going long enough to get a financial or a monetary infusion. And there's reasons for that too. Okay. I have 5 questions, and I want to ask these questions to everyone, whether you're a Umar follower or a supporter or a defender, or you're someone you're on the fence about Umar Johnson. It don't matter to me because my job is what I'm going to be doing over the next few live streams when dealing with this topic is I'm going to be giving you guys the receipts that Umar Johnson didn't give you. And one way or the other, I'm going to prove whether or not he purchased the property. Okay. So did he purchase the property? I'm going to find out. Is he renting the property? I'm going to find out. Is he leasing the property? I'm going to find out. How much did he pay for the property? I'm going to find out. Is he the owner of the property? I'm going to find out. If he owns the property, does he have a deed? And if he has a deed, I'm going to find out. And is his name listed on the deed? That's a whole nother topic too, to get into. That's my job. And based upon what I'm going to be presenting to you all, it's up to you to decide. But either way, whether you want to stay on in the Umar cult, that's up to you, or if you want to come to the realization that he's just scamming people and he's playing you guys. You're getting played again. Whatever the case may be, you decide. I'm going to just bring the receipts. Okay. The other thing I'm going to say before I get into the questions is, if I'm unable to find the receipts that I need to find, then I will let you guys know that too. Okay. I said, you know, I couldn't find that, but here are the questions, and here are the questions, and this is the information that Umar Johnson didn't provide to prove that he actually purchased the school, but I didn't find any information that would contradict his statement, and I'll tell you all that too. And then you decide. I'm also thinking about, I'm just thinking about it, maybe setting up something where we can take phone calls, and those of you Umar Johnson supporters, you can call in and defend Umar, but do it in a way where you're not calling names or making excuses for Umar's scamming behavior. I wouldn't mind talking to some of y'all. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. So the title of this particular live stream, what is the title of this particular? Everyone doing all right too? I didn't get a chance to get into the chat room. How's everyone doing? Black Anonymous, how's it going? Let me bring up an important question. Who would sell to Umar with tax liens and back child support? He has tax liens over $100,000, people, and back child support to pay. Not to mention, and this is my contention here, that I'm sure that he has extensive student loan debt as well. Hasn't held a job. Who's going to sell to him? But even still, let's assume that someone sold to him. Where's the proof? And that's really what I want us to really get to, because so many of y'all, you've accepted, you want to believe you've accepted what Umar told you, but did he prove to you? And simply walking around in an abandoned building, that's not proof, because he's done that in the past. Did you guys know that he's done that many times where he's walking around in an abandoned building? That's not proof. What I'm saying, and I told you all this before, I said, listen, there's a couple of possibilities of what's going to take place. And I'm going to read those to you. Let me read this to you. I said, Umar Johnson will blame GoFundMe for not being able to purchase a school. Obviously, that's not what he did, at least up to this point. I said, Umar Johnson will blame people who asked for refunds for not being able to purchase a school, meaning his former supporters. Well, that's not what he did. Umar will blame his so-called detractors for sabotaging his plan to purchase a school. But the truth is, he at this point, that's what I'm saying, he's dug himself a hole, because he said that he purchased a school, did he not? And then I wrote here, Umar will make an announcement on a school location and purchase, but will not provide any verifiable proof. There's a Santa Claus. We'll prove it. But there's a Santa Claus, and he's going to bring you gifts. We'll prove it. But there's a Santa Claus, and he's going to bring you gifts, and he's going to bring you everything that you need. Oh, you start getting excited. All my doubts in Santa Claus, even though he's called black women maggots, he's called black women thoughts. He's called black women all types of derogatory names. But I'm excited now. All of my doubts are gone. But prove it. It's not necessary to prove anymore, because it's all about belief. And that's what he's playing on, you guys. It's about believing in him. Did he give you any proof? So I already told y'all, I said Umar will, this is one of the possibilities. He's going to make an announcement on the school location and purchase, but will not provide any verifiable proof. Another option was, or another possibility was, Umar will not make any announcement and disappear like he did on January 1st, 2019. And by the way, why didn't he come on January 1st, 2019 and make that announcement too, by the way? Did anyone think about that? Well, I know why he didn't do it. Because the video that he posted of him being inside the school talking about the school, the editing wasn't done on that video, because that video actually was taken in the fall of 2018. What? He's playing you guys. You guys are getting played. And you're going to give up that cheese. You're going to give up that cheddar. He thought that it was going to be available for January 1st, and they were editing it up, but it wasn't ready. So he changed the date to February 14th, and he was waiting and waiting and waiting. And then it was available before the February 14th. And that's why he came out early. Well, then how do you know that the video was recorded the year in the previous year? Well, because if you look at the video footage and you look at what he shows, there's grass, there's green grass all outside the school. Think about it. But if you look at the pictures, you know, recent pictures, there's no grass. Well, and there may be grass, but it's all It's not the green. You guys understand what I'm saying? Why? Because we're in the middle of winter. Go back and look. Did you think about that? No, because you're into your emotions and you're so emotional and it compromises the intellectual process. See, that's what I mean by critical thinking. Critical thinking, you look and you say, okay, well, what's extra, what's out of the ordinary here? What's going on here that doesn't make sense? Like the fact that he didn't give you any paperwork to prove that he actually purchased the property. This means that this is a plan. This is part of the plan. The video, and see, now if the video was edited in time for January 1st, he would have dropped it on January. He would have came with the announcement on January 1st without any evidence or proof. But because the editing wasn't done and he had to wait, he had to push it forward. Just think about it. And all you got to do is go and look at the video footage and look at what the school property looks like right now in the middle of winter. And then look at the grass and then look at the grass inside of the video. Vanessa Rogers says that she noticed that. Yeah, Shanta, it's very interesting. Y'all go back and go take a look at it. Now, follow leader asks, so did he say he found or purchased? We're going to get into that in just a moment, okay? See, and I'm telling y'all right now, this is all preliminary because it gets the documentation that I've already acquired. When I drop that, it's going to put all this into perspective. And I just want you guys to know, you Umar followers, you know, I'm not going to say that I feel sorry for you, but I have compassion for you. You can send me hateful message and call me names and be, abusive, just like Umar Johnson does to you. You can do all that. But I understand where you're coming from. And I have compassion for you. You're in a horrible relationship with an abusive person who's taking advantage of you so that he can get money out of you. And it's tax season. It's not by accident. And then the last possibility that we talked about this, I don't know if it was part 6 or part 5 or something. I said Umar will confess to his criminal and fraudulent behavior. And I said that's probably highly unlikely, but he didn't do. But what he ended up doing is what I already told y'all what he was going to do in advance. These were the options. See, critical thinking, you think about, okay, well, what are the options that he has at this time? Well, he can blame GoFundMe, and because GoFundMe is issuing refunds. So he got to do something to get people to, and we talked about this. So I'm not going to get back into it. In other parts, we already talked about this in advance of him making the announcement. Or that he'll blame people who ask for refunds, or he'll blame his so-called detractors, his haters. But then I put here, Umar will make an announcement on the school location and purchase, but will not provide any verifiable proof. And that's exactly what he did. Now, 5 questions, and I'm going to ask these 5 questions. And I want, if you're an Umar follower, just think about this. That's all I'm saying. Just, the emotions, set the emotions aside. You're mad at me. You don't like me. You hate me. Just set all that aside for a moment. I understand. I understand. Okay, I truly do. Just set that aside. Maybe you're one of the people that can't stand Umar Johnson. Okay, we'll set any negative emotions aside and let's just come on down off the emotional part of it. We're all human beings, but let's just come off of the emotional part and let's just think critically about this and not allow our intellectual faculties to be compromised by emotions. Can we do that? Okay, this is going to be a little bit different. I could break out the PowerPoint, but I'm not going to do it today. Because I want to have all my receipts in order. I would have had them all in order, at least the ones that I could have showed today. But I had my son's birthday yesterday, and I had to finish my taxes today. Yeah, shit to do. So we will see messages. Oh, you sign it now? No, I'm working on my taxes now. That's what I'm doing right now. You sign it now? No, it's my son's birthday today. What am I going to be up here on my son's birthday? He turned 15. More importantly, I would much rather take some time to kind of reflect on what was said and analyze the words that Umar what he was saying and think about it a little bit, but then start putting some pieces together and start getting down to getting some receipts together. That's how you do these things. Don't get all emotional, because that's what he wanted. He just got y'all so emotional, riled up, and everyone's so excited, but he's done that just like that daddy that just drove by past. He did that to you so many different times. He's doing it to you now. He's going to do it to you again if you let him. He's going to disappoint you again. It's only a matter of time. But in the meantime, he want to get that money grab. You're going to get that money grab. And you know what's going to happen when he lets you down this time, because it's going to happen again. Y'all, the ones y'all are really supporting him right now, I'm so excited, you're going to be devastated. And that's why, I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue in this mission to speak the truth about Umar Johnson because it will save somebody from experiencing that level of abuse, but then also that letdown to where they're so disappointed. And some of y'all gonna get depressed. Mark my words. And I don't want that for you. 5 questions I want to ask. What's the title of this too, by the way? Let me see. I don't even know what the title of this video is. Can someone in the chat room let me know? How's it going, MCHD and Melanin Asia? WTM, great analogy of the dad let down. Yeah, this is a lot of us, we can relate to that. What's up, Blerd Planet 2? What's up? How you doing, Maya? Thanks for tuning on suicide. I watched some of yours. Yes, was it today or yesterday? And my wife came down too. And she was like, "Oh, I remember that guy." And you had me cracking up. And it's true. What you were breaking down, it is so true. This, intellectual process, just asking critical questions. That's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna give some shout outs to people real quick before we get into this. How's it going, team of B4 Real? Thank you so much. Who else we got up in here? Do I need to scroll up? Let's see. Trucker says, why does he use a Yahoo email address? He's talking about Umar. Umar changes his email address all the time. That's a red flag, people. How's it going, Blue? And Cat? Well, how's it going, Cat? And Cat, you do have moderator privileges too. Okay, just to let you know. But I really want to do this and set this up to where we can take phone calls. Y'all call in, supporters, people who don't support, and we can have a conversation. I really would like to do that. Okay. Suicide Prevention said this is going to inspire more scammers. How's it going, Tyree? And Mara on the wall. Monica, how's it going? Said Lenny, I said the same thing. And let's see, look at the door and the key. We talked about that when you start the series. Yeah, I know that we thought it's just so it's a lot of this is predictable. Okay, okay. What's the title of this? Can someone please tell me what the title of this is before I get into the questions? If you guys can do it, I appreciate it. Genesis says Umar needs to update his resume and get a real job. Someone said you see his infomercial yet? Umar, someone in the chat said name Umar Johnson. It says, what's up, brother? How's it going? You're going down. You done dug yourself a serious hole. I know, Corey. Someone said they're gonna troll you if you let them call you. I know. Yeah, Umar changes email addresses all the time, and he's always switching. Now he doesn't want people to send through Cash App. He wants. We're gonna get into all that too. There's a reason for that too, by the way. I understand exactly what he's doing. It's interesting. Come on, real quick. Come on, please, someone. If you can, please tell me what's the title. Well, I'll look it up then myself, since y'all want to do me like that. Y'all gonna do me like that? I gotta at least tell what the title is. Okay, let me pull it up and then we're going to get into the 5 questions. And again, I want everyone to answer these questions, and you can actually answer these questions inside the chat room. Okay, so this is part 8. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Who said that? Shanta, thank you so much. Y'all got me up here. I'm waiting. Okay. So Umar Johnson School Scam Part 8, 5 questions that you should ask about Umar's school purchase. So these are just 5 questions I want y'all to ask. And real quick, if y'all have some questions, you can post too inside the chat room. If I'm looking in the chat room, I'll call them out. As an example, Advance said, oh wait a minute, no, Advance. Well, that's not part of it. We said I admire your work, especially the manhood videos. Please do more videos on that. Yeah, I'll plan on doing it. I really do. So Dandy had asked a few questions. Where's the staff? What's the operating budget? Where's the curriculum? Why no third-party audit? My goodness, because it's all about the money. I can't even tell you that right now. But there's so much more that I know about the situation that I've actually shared with you all. Who's on the board of directors? Right? Yeah, these are important questions. But we're going to specifically ask questions about the school announcement. Okay, so. Number 1, someone asked, Aki Woodley said, where's the electricity? Okay, so question number 1, and I want y'all to, even you Umar followers, okay, answer this yes or no, okay? Number 1, did Umar Johnson show you legal proof that he purchased the school? Everyone, please, everyone, answer. Did Umar Johnson show you legal proof that he purchased the school? Even you Umar Johnson supporters, come on, you participate too. I'm not mad at you. You can be mad at me. I understand. I truly, I understand. But at this point, what we're looking for is intellectual process. All I'm asking you is to answer the questions honestly. Did Umar Johnson show you legal proof that he purchased the school? If you're viewing this in the archive, maybe you're not here for the live stream, I want you to answer these questions too. So you can type this in your post. You can type number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. And then as I ask these questions, you're going to fill in yes or no. And after we get through all the questions, you push that button. I think it's the post button, whatever it is, and then it'll post. Okay, for those of y'all who are not going to be here during the live stream. Are there any Umar Johnson supporters here? I'm sure there are. And I want to ask you, did Umar Johnson show you legal proof that he purchased the school? Let me ask well, I'm going to stick to these 5 questions. We're going to come back to that in just a moment. Okay. Everyone's saying no. And this is the truth. Okay. At this point, my job, I'm not here to persuade you. I'm here to ask you some questions and you give an honest answer and you're going to prove it yourself. And in fact, Umar Johnson is proving it by not giving people the proof, legal proof that he actually purchased the school. See, that's what I mean by it's about you believing. It's about getting you into your emotions so that you begin to believe in Santa Claus, that you believe that your daddy is going to come pick you up. You've been waiting on him and he promised to come pick you up. No evidence or proof that he's going to pick you up. He just makes the promise and that's enough. And that's exactly what Umar Johnson did. But did he give you any proof, legal proof, that he actually purchased the school? And the answer is no. Is that important? Is that relevant? Absolutely. It's important and it's relevant because anyone can say anything to you at any given time and you can believe it as long as they get you into a heightened emotional state. Compromise your intellectual processes and you will accept the okie doke. Question number 2, did Umar Johnson show you legal proof that he is the owner of the school? Paula Jones, the keychain, that's what the proof was. Hey, I'm asking, did Umar Johnson show you legal proof that he is the actual owner of the school? So whether you are someone who, you're not a follower of Umar Johnson, answer the question, yes or no. If you're someone who you're a follower, you're a supporter of Umar Johnson, ask the question, yes or no. And I'm going to tell you all right now, at this point, the game and the manipulation and the scamming and the scheming and the abuse, I mean, it is so over the top that I'm somewhat impartial. All I want to do is get the receipts, get the truth, and bring that truth to you all. In this sense, I'm your servant. I'm here to serve. And as I serve, I'm going to be asking you some critical questions so that you can think a little bit more deeply about this whole situation with Umar's ongoing school scam been going on now for 9 years. 9 years. Promising this school. And then when he makes an announcement about the school, he doesn't give you any proof that he purchased the school or that he's the owner of the property. After 9 years. Someone said, I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm telling y'all, he done dug himself a serious hole. It's not a serious hole. It's not going to end well. And that's why I can sit back and kind of be impartial because karma, it's going to play itself out. And I've seen it in other people. I've seen it in scammers in the past. This is how things work. And since he's taken this now to the next, because this is the second phase of the scam. I want people to understand this, that this is the second phase of the scam. Now that he's moving into the second phase of the scam, retribution is going to come a lot sooner. In other words, karma is going to come a lot sooner because he's taking things to the next level. And see, all of the people who are going to be sending him money, because this is a cash infusion. That's what this is all about, is about the money. That all represents his manipulation and his abuse and his scamming and scheming and continuing to perpetuate this fraud, well, guess what? The karma is going to come back. So I can sit back and just look. I'm just here to get the receipts to prove one way or the other whether or not Umar Johnson if there's legal proof that he purchased a school, and then is there legal proof that he's the owner of the school? And if there is, I'll present that to you all. But that still doesn't dismiss some other issues, more important issues when it comes to the money. Because this is all about money to him. So this should be all about money to you. You guys need to be looking critically at where this money is all going. Okay. All right. So everyone, from what I saw, everyone had said no. Did Umar Johnson show any legal proof that he is the owner of the school? Number 3, did Umar Johnson tell you how much he paid for the school? Please, everyone answer in the chat room, whether you're a supporter or not. I'm asking these are important questions that everyone should be thinking about, and everyone should have been thinking about these questions when they were watching that video. Did Umar Johnson tell you how much he paid for the school? Christian said yes, he has. Well, did he? And if that is the case, how much did he pay for the school? Can you answer that? It's all no's. He gave no details. Yes, Kay, no details. Blessed by him. How's it going blessed by him? Says no. Everyone says no. Delirious says no. Vanessa says no. WTM no. Born says no. Suicida. What's up, man? You be having me cracking up. Says no. The answer is no. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for answering. He didn't show any. He didn't tell you how much he paid. And why is that important, by the way? That's important because it's all about the money. Especially moving forward, it's important, is it not? Number 4, did Umar tell you how much money he has left over after he purchased the school? Remember, he admitted that he had at least $750,000, but he's been sitting on that number for a long time now, $750,000. I'll propose that it's over $1 million. It's speculative on my part, but at this point, I would assume. I mean, it would make more sense if it's over $1 million. But if that is the case, let's say it's $750,000, which is what the highest amount that he's ever admitted to. There's no accounting going on here. It's no disclosure to all of the donors. Let's say $750,000. Well, if it's $750,000 and he purchased the school as he has claimed that he did. Remember, he claimed that he purchased the school outright and that there's no. Correct me if I'm wrong, too. I don't mean to get off the topic because I was going to say this for later because there's the receipts. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he say that he's renting? Let me not ask a question because I want to keep this with the thing. What Umar Johnson said, someone, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. From what I remember, he said that he owns the property, that he purchased the property, and there's no mortgage. In other words, he's purchased it outright. Am I wrong on that? Is that what I heard when I was listening to him sitting in the chair and talking? I think it was like 2 hours about this announcement. Yeah, he said he purchased it. Exactly. Yes. Thank you. And I'm going to go back and listen to it again. And I already started the process. I'm taking little notes and I'll be taking audio clips. When I get all my receipts together, we'll have a PowerPoint presentation. We're going to go through all of that. Yes, and he says it's ours. See, Black Anonymous, this is very true. Now he's referring to the school as ours. And the reason why is to get you all emotional, as if you're part of this movement. And, you know, we've purchased this and we've been working on this. Now give me your money. You see how this works? Now he's saying it's ours. This property is ours. And we're doing this. We doing this. We doing this. Before it was all I, me. That's my money. I mean, our money. Y'all remember that? But now he's saying we. And the reason why is because it's a manipulative technique. He wants to include you and make you feel part of it so that you will ultimately feel as if, okay, I'm giving to him, but I'm really giving to myself. We. Y'all getting played. Yeah, someone said, how's he going to pay the annual property tax? Do y'all know how much the annual property tax is? I have receipts on that. It's not just me. There's other people that have been sending me documentation. Y'all have no idea. So so the question was, did Umar tell you how much money he has left over of that $750,000 after he purchased the school? And the answer is no. Wow. The audacity, right? Question number 5. This is the last question, okay? Yes or no, people, whether you're an Umar follower or not. Did Umar tell you how much money he needed to renovate? I tell you, boy. Oh, wait a minute now, Audrey. Think about this. It's a trick question. There you go. See, this is a trick question, but I want y'all to think about it. Audrey, hold on. Just think about it. What did he say? There you go. See, he's real slick about these things. Because remember, it all goes back to money. He's not going to give you any other information. They're going to tell you legal proof that he purchased the property. He's not going to give you any legal proof that he's the owner of the school. He's not going to give you any. He's not going to tell you how much he paid for the school. He's not going to tell you how much money he has left over from when after he purchased school. How much money of the $750,000 that he has left over? Even though the property is worth like $1.25 million. That's a whole nother topic to get into at a later time. He didn't give you any of that information. So we'll see, part of what I'm saying is that because he didn't give that type of information, people weren't thinking in terms of financially when they were watching that video. And most of us, we weren't thinking financially, because that's what this all comes down to. And that's why I want to ask the question, did Umar tell you how much money he needed to renovate? For some of us, because he hasn't given us any type of information concerning finances or money, we're not thinking in terms of money. We automatically say it's no. But the truth of the matter is that he did give us a figure about the renovation. And what was that figure, by the way, people? Again, did Umar tell you how much money he needed to renovate? And if so, how much was it? $1 million. $1 million to renovate. You know what's interesting? He says $1 million to renovate, but then he says the inside is like new. You guys listen carefully. So if the inside is like new and you need to renovate and you need $1 million, then that would mean you need to renovate the outside. It's going to cost $1 million to renovate the outside. And then on top of that, you're going to ask for free labor too. Hmm? Now I'm gonna in the near future when we do some more of these, I'm gonna take my time with this because I got to get all of my receipts in order, and I want to make sure that my presentation is tight. But one of the topics that we're definitely going to get into is this financial part, because that's really what this is all about. And see, that's where the emotionalism comes in. They want to get you all riled up, and then he's talking about money, because that's really he'll give you that figure. See, he'll give you what he needs, but he's not going to give you any of the other legal information that you need, that you truly deserve, including you donors. You deserve that information. You deserve to know, okay, legal proof that you actually purchased the school, and how much did you pay for it? Because I'm the one that's paying for it. You deserve that. Even if you are followers, the ones you upset at me, and you deserve that. I think that that's fair. And if he respected you enough, he would have given you that information. And see, my job at this point is I'm going to get that information, and I'm going to find out one way or the other. And it's not just me. There's other people looking into this. And if it comes to pass that there's legal proof that he purchased school, I'm going to present that to you all. And then we move to the next stage. And the next stage is what? The next stage is a school opening. The next stage is where is all the money, the $750,000? Where did it go? How much did he pay for the school? I'm going to find that information out. There's other people who are looking into that right now too. And let's say it's maybe he's 700,000. Maybe he pays. I don't see how that's going to work though, because the property is worth 125, 1.25. I think it was 1.25 million. It was purchased in 2017. The last owner was in 2017. That's not too long ago. So you're going to purchase it at was it? No, it's not 2.25. It's 1.25. You're going to purchase at 1.25, and then you're going to sell it to Umar Johnson at less than $750,000. I even saw someone say, well, maybe he took out a loan and he put up his own money. He ain't got no money. He don't got no job. Where's the money? Where's he gonna get the money from? Just stop making excuses. And even if he did, well, let's see the receipts on that. So that's my whole job at this point is to get the information. I'm going to present it to you all because, and see that I'm doing what Umar Johnson should have done. And there's a reason why he didn't do it and why he doesn't do it. He doesn't ever give you guys any paperwork on anything, degrees or otherwise. He doesn't ever give you any a mission statement or what do they call that? A curriculum. Doesn't give you any of that. No paperwork, no legal documentation on anything. So I'm going to do it for you. But you all see my point? He only gives you, he has a figure in mind when it comes to what he needs you to give to him, $1 million. But he doesn't give you any figures, including you donors who basically, allegedly at this point, because we don't know for sure if he actually purchased the property. He hasn't given the proof. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't, okay? But he doesn't respect you enough to at least tell you, okay, this is where your money went exactly, and here's the proof, and this is how much it costs, so that we're on the same page, and you know that that I've spent the money on what I promised that I was going to spend your money on. It's your money. Don't you think you deserve to know how much the property that he's allegedly purchased costs? Don't you think you deserve to know that? Don't you think you deserve to see the deed if he in fact said that he purchased it outright and that there is no mortgage, he owns it? And on that deed, wouldn't you want to see his actual name on there? Don't you deserve that? He doesn't give you that. He doesn't tell you how much money is left over after he purchased this property allegedly. But what he does tell you is how much money he needs to renovate. And it's $1 million. Oh, goodness. Wiper73 said, he said it was for, and thanks for the super chat. It says, he said it was for profit corporation. He says the line to get kids in is around the block, but he has not once told parents tuition amount. He's never going to get to that point though, in this whole scam where he actually says, you know, the tuition is going to be this, and this is going to be in first day of classes on such and such. He's not going to get to that point. You know, he may get to the point where he says, because then he might actually say, you know, we want to set up scholarships to help people with the tuition. So we want to set up, so please donate. He's putting people back in the spin cycle. There's going to be a donation campaign for books, a donation campaign for computers, a donation campaign for a bus, a donation campaign for dirt bikes, a donation campaign for the animals at the Big Papa Circus. Yeah, he did say he was going to have animals. Crowdfunding campaign for this, a crowdfunding campaign. It's perpetual. It's perpetual. And the way, and I already thought about this, and I thought about this long and hard, that what he can do, and I probably shouldn't be saying this because I know he watches these videos and it gives him ideas, but what he can do is that if he's able to continue to trick people and lead people along and continue to push back the goalposts, in other words, change the dates, he can get away with this for about another 2.5 to 3 years. Unless receipts come out that shakes everything down to the ground. In other words, the scam itself is thoroughly obliterated and people realize the truth. You know, mind you, you know, in my research, and I'm going to save this for later, but I just want you guys to understand, in essence, what Umar Johnson did, and if he indeed purchased this property, he picked the worst possible property that he can find in the worst possible location that he can find in order to start a school for all Black boys. And I have receipts on this, the crime rate, the murder rate, environmental toxins too. I mean, it's so far, I don't even want to get into this now, people. But there's a reason why he did that too, though, because, well, we'll get into that at a later time. Okay, so did Umar tell you how much money he needed to renovate, specifically to renovate? And yes, he said $1 million, and he's asking people to donate. So We've answered all. How's it going, Taco? We've answered all the questions. Whether you're an Umar Johnson supporter or you're someone who is not a supporter of Umar Johnson, I love. It doesn't matter to me. I love you. Okay, you can keep sending me the hateful messages. I understand. I truly, I understand. I really do. I understand. I understand where you're at. I understand the manipulation aspect. I understand the mind control aspect. I understand the cult aspect of this. I'm talking about, the manner in which Umar operates. He's like a cult personality. So I understand. I truly do. But what I'm asking you to do is to be clear as to these answers and really think about this. That here you have a man who's collected at least $750,000, and he's lied and let you down over and over and over and over again over the last 9 years. Some of you guys, it may have been over the last 2. Some of you 3, 4. Some of y'all 9 years, because you've been running this scam for 9 years. So you've been let down over and over and over again. And now we get to this point. And when I ask these questions, 4 of the 5, the most important questions where you would need the information that should matter the most to you in terms of proving that he actually purchased the property, you have to say, no, he didn't give us that information. And then when you get to number 5, you realize what this is all about. Did he give you information, or did he give you a figure in terms of how much money he needs just to get it renovated? That's it. We're not even talking about paying teachers, or we're not talking about getting the building up to code. We're not talking about, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. We're just talking about renovating. He gives you a figure, it's $1 million. And he wants it right away. He needs it as soon as possible. But he's been running this scam for 9 years, and he's only collected $750,000. But now he wants you to send him $1 million over the next 30 days. Because if you think about it, if they're going to have to do renovations, then he's going to need that money like right now, so that he can get everything lined up and get everyone who's going to be renovating and get all the materials and supplies, so that he can get all of this done for what? August 21st, 2018, so that he can have the opening, which isn't an opening. It's merely what he's proposing is like, you can come and check out the building. But the actual opening of the school is what is it again? August, because he says it all the time, August 21st. August 21st, 2020, he's moving the goalposts, and he's gonna disappoint you guys, guaranteed. It's not about opening a school; it's about getting your money. And no, he hasn't opened a school. And I told people too, and this was in a couple of episodes ago of this series. I said, look, I will take my videos down. I'll take all of my videos down about Umar Johnson if 2 things happen. There's 2 things that would need to happen. 1, he opens up an accredited school, and children are enrolled, and people come, and the children actually go to school. I'm pulling all of my videos down about Umar Johnson. And the other scenario, and that's not going to happen too, by the way. And the other scenario, it's more likely to happen, comparatively speaking, but it's not probable. And that is that Umar Johnson comes clean and admits that he's been perpetuating fraud to get people's money for the last 9 years. If either of those 2 things happen, I'm going to pull all of my videos on YouTube down concerning Umar Johnson. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to speak the truth. And I think that that's fair. WTM, thank you for the super chat too. I appreciate it. So now what I like to do, now that we've asked the questions and everyone has had a chance to answer, and what the idea is, let's set the emotion aside, because so many people are on an emotional high, including people who know that he's fraudulent. You see the video and you can just see, and you can just tell how he's manipulating people to put people back into the cycle of donating again. It's hard to watch. It really is, because you see the manipulation and you know that there are people who are buying into it, and these are his victims. And then the victims are the same people who are defending him. But they're just putting back in the cycle because he sees you as a resource. And once he uses you up, he'll move on, but he never fulfills the promise. And the promise was not to buy a school. The promise was to what? To open a school. But, sometimes when you're in an abusive relationship, you settle for the crumbs off of the table. Well, he said that he was going to protect me, but now he's beating on me, but at least he's paying the rent. Yeah, but it wasn't about him just paying the rent. It was also about him protecting you. Well, she said that she was going to be faithful, but she is cheating a little bit on the side, but she's a good mother. Yeah, but the promise was that she was going to be loyal to you in sickness and health, and that's not what's taking place. So you have to come to the realization of that and to recognize to accept anything less than what was promised is actually harmful to you, my brother. And you Umar Johnson followers, that's exactly what's taking place. You're willing to accept an announcement without any proof in place of an opening of a school, which was the initial promise. And that's what he collected all that money for. And now he wants 1 million on top of that. So I asked you guys 5 questions. What I'd like to do now is give you guys the proof that you and I'm not going to give you it. What I'm saying is I'm going to show you all what would qualify. Now this gets interesting. What would qualify as the proof in regards to these first 4 questions? So hear me. Question number 1, did Umar Johnson show you legal proof that he purchased the school? And the answer is no. So you have to just believe, but belief is belief. That's not knowing. You guys don't know one way or the other, but because you're in an emotional state, you don't think about that. You're so emotional. It's like, look, I accept it. Just like you when you got emotional about getting gifts on Christmas, you accepted Santa Claus, right? Same thing. You get emotional when your daddy said, I'm going to come pick you up. And you know that he's not, because he's been saying that for the last 5 years. But you get excited anyway because the hope, and you don't want to be let down, and you want to have faith in him, but he never shows up. So the point is, what would have been the proof, legal proof that Umar Johnson, what would have qualified as legal proof that Umar Johnson purchased the school? That's the question. Y'all answer. Go ahead and answer inside the chat room. Y'all go ahead and post it. And I'm going to tell you all, and while you're doing it, I'm going to share some what would qualify as legal proof. And this is what Umar Johnson should have done. And then the question after this is, why didn't he do this? One of the things that if he said that he purchased the property and there's no mortgage, meaning that he owns the property, and that's what I gathered from what he said. I have the audio. I'm gonna go back through it. We're going to actually have that on my PowerPoint presentation, and we'll be clear. If I'm wrong on it, I'm wrong on it right now. But that's what I remember hearing. If in fact he purchased the property, and he's saying that he bought a property, he purchased the property, he owns it, then legal proof would be what? A deed. Maybe a wire transfer from, let's say, FDMG account, bank account, to the account of the previous owner, the seller. And he prints it out and he puts it up on the screen and says, and he can even redact the account numbers or whatever. He just says, hey, look, I did it, family. I did it for good. Show it to the people, show and prove. And I told y'all that in one of these parts, that he has to show and prove. You Umar Johnson followers, at this point, he has to show and prove. He didn't show and prove. He just walking around the building and saying he purchased. And really, that came after, because he was actually sitting in that corner. He was sitting in that corner with all of the African stuff in the back, and he's it's all such a scam. It's really a shame. It's a hot mess, and it's a shame. It really is. But he's sitting there. Well, if you're gonna say you purchased the property and you sitting there, why don't you just pull out that deed and show the deed or the some receipt, right? So a wire transfer from FDMG bank account. Now let's say that he's renting. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he didn't say that maybe he said he was renting the property. Let's because we can give people the benefit of doubt. Well, what would be the proof? To prove that he actually is renting the property? Well, a rental agreement. And the rental agreement, he should, hey, here's the rental agreement, family, and this is how much I'm paying per month. With the money, with your money. I shouldn't say, well, what I'm paying, what you're paying. What else? Someone said a rental agreement, a lease, a proof of deposit. Yeah, Black Anonymous. What about maybe a proof of deposit? Something. Give the people something. Don't bring out the pillows, people. An inspection report, that would be nice. Someone said, "What, Lennon? The keychain wasn't enough for you?" Well, it's not even what's about. It's not even about what's enough for me. It's really about what is enough for the people who donated and gave money to this person. And that's really. And I know some of you guys, you're mad at me. I understand. Okay, I understand, and it's okay. But it's about you. It's about you thinking differently about who you support and how they treat you. The people that you do support, how do they treat you? They don't have enough respect for you to show you a FDNG bank account or rental agreement or a lease agreement or what have you. Someone said an appraisal, yes. An inspection report, yes. Don't bring out the fellows, please. Someone said FDMG sleeping bags on eBay going for $200. I'm sorry. I told myself I wasn't going to be funny try not to be funny on this because it's really not funny. It's a tragedy, and what he's doing and how he's abusing people, and then the people who are being abused, they're going out and they're attacking other people verbally on the internet. And I've gotten a lot of that. It's just sad. It really is that people get turned out in this way. I mean, you get turned out, and especially for you men, and I'm not trying to be sexist, but for you men to get turned out like this by this fraudster, and you should be the front line of defense, not only for yourself, but also for these women out here who are being manipulated and abused by Umar Johnson. It's a damn shame. And if your daddy raised you right, he would have taught you that. And so I'm telling you that because your daddy should have taught you that. You can get mad at me if you want to, but you know doggone well that if your daddy was in your life like he should have been, that he would have taught you to beware of these fraudsters. Buyers beware. These men who take advantage of black people and then rip black people off and use black women as a resource, a material resource, a financial resource, and a sexual resource. It's your job to defend, to provide and protect, to preserve and protect life. That's your job. But you done got turned out by this fraud, and not only do you not defend the women who are being abused, but you defend the abuser. What kind of man? I ain't mad. I'm just telling y'all. I'm not mad at nobody. I'm not mad. No, it's not a dime bag. It's some tea shit. Okay. I'm not mad at nobody. This is my I call it a thermostat. My wife, she always laugh at me, but it's a thermos. No, it's a thermostat. That's what it is. This is my work thermostat. Got to a lot of cold nights. Okay. Someone sent me a message says, "I know you're not coming on YouTube again after this." After what? Someone walking around in the video and all stage, and he's reading off with the teleprompter thing, and he's walking around and, "Oh, family, we're gonna do this." He already done did that when he did the St. Paul's thing. He's reinventing it. He's putting you back in the spin cycle. You got shipped. You got crossed over. He's putting you back in the spin cycle. I'm thinking about doing a video, one of these parts where we just sit down and we're just going to go through that video and we'll break down each segment and just kind of break it down. That will be very entertaining. Okay. Okay. So getting back to this, did Umar Johnson show you legal proof? And I'm going to speed this up, that he purchased the property? The answer is no. Well, what would have qualified as legal proof? And we graded down a whole list: a deed, wire transfer from FDMG, bank account, a rental agreement, if he's renting, a lease agreement, if he's leasing it, whatever the case may be. He didn't give you all any of that. Okay. Number two, did Umar Johnson, and you should ask the critical question, why? Why didn't he give you that information? Well, there's a reason why. And when the receipts come, I'm going to give it to you. Y'all will see. Okay. Number two, did Umar Johnson show you legal proof that he is the owner of the school? And the answer is no. Well, I'm going to ask you guys a question inside the chat room. What would qualify as legal proof that he's the owner of the school? That's right, outlaw. He just gave more promises. That's what he does. It's like that daddy that always make promises. He's gonna bring you a gift on Christmas or for your birthday, or he's gonna come pick you up to take you to the movies. I'll be there at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock roll around, he ain't nowhere to be found. Okay. Some of y'all crazy. Someone in the chat room named Umar Johnson in the comments are absolutely hilarious. I'm not gonna read it though, because I told myself I wasn't gonna be funny about it. Yeah, you're right. Someone said, didn't he make a similar video when he was talking about he was going to be buying St. Paul's car? Yeah, it's because he's doing the same thing now. It's the same thing. He's doing the same exact thing. What is this, 4.5 years later? He's doing the same exact thing. And we're no closer to a school being open. Think about it. Yeah, I know people, Power says light should be on for inspection. Oh my goodness. Okay, a deed. Okay, so let's say in order to prove that that legal proof that he's the owner, the deed he should have it in hand, right? And he said he purchased it outright. There's no mortgage. There should be a deed, and his name should be on the deed. Whether that's Umar Johnson or Jermaine Shoemaker or Big Papa or the most requested or whatever, aka, you know, Killmonger, or what was it, Realmonger, whatever. The modern day Moses, whatever. His name should be on the deed. That would be legal proof. What else? Anyone else? A title? Okay, yes, a title. Okay, and his name should be on that, right? Okay, most people are saying deed. Okay, all right. Okay, so for what I have here, his name should be on the deed. His name, if he's renting, it should be on the rental agreement, right? If he's leasing, his name should be on the lease agreement. He didn't give you any of that. The question is why. So what I'm saying is that at this point, if he didn't give you that information, and it's so easy, it's just a piece of paper. He never gives people any paperwork too, by the way. No legal paperwork. And if he does it tomorrow, that's great. Now that moves us to the next phase, and that is, okay, we get past that point. Now it's about him opening the school, and then we see how that plays itself out. But simply accepting him based upon his words, and he's been lying to y'all for such a long time anyway. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Judge? I don't do that. No, why would you do? You shouldn't do that. You use, but see, your emotions, you're intellectually compromised, because it always compromises your intellectual processes. What your intellect tells you is, I need evidence and proof to any given claim. You need conclusive evidence and proof. He didn't give you guys that, but you believe and you accept it as being true. And all it takes is, okay, well, here's the deed with my name on it. Here's a wire transfer for FDMG bank account. Okay, if he's renting, it's a rental agreement. If it's a lease, it's a lease agreement. Here's my name on it. See how easy this is? Okay, number 3, did Umar Johnson tell you how much he paid for the school? And the answer is no. What would qualify as a legal means of showing how much he paid for the school? Please, everyone in the chat room. I'll tell y'all what I have here. What would qualify to show, hey, look, I purchased this property and this is how much I paid for it. Well, what I put here was a canceled check. Basically the check went through. Okay, and the check is from FDMG, right? Makes sense? Someone said a contract. The contract of sale. See, now we're getting into the terms of anyone who's like real estate, y'all know this stuff. You know a whole lot more than me, I guarantee you that. Daco says taxes. It could be like, okay, well, how many taxes? Well, what was the tax? What was the taxes on that? If you're gonna buy it outright, what about capital gains? I mean, my goodness gracious, people. A cashier's check. He wants you to send him a cashier check, but he can't show you a check to prove to y'all, you supporters, you donors, he won't give you a check or a cashier check to prove to you that he's the owner and that he's purchased this property. Ain't that about WTM said withdrawal documents. I mean, there's so many different examples of things that he could. 78 vet said that would be on the purchase agreement, a bank statement, delirious. Yes, absolutely. Black Anonymous says a contract. Well, see, Chris says all you have to do is go to whatever city that is and go to the city hall and look up the records. And that's what I would encourage people to do, and get the information, get the documentation. And nowadays, you don't even have to go down the city. You can go online. The receipts are coming, people, one way or the other. We're gonna find out one way or the other. And if he's the owner, fine. If he purchased it, fine. If he's renting, fine. Kind of, because he said he purchased it outright and that there's no mortgage. Okay, so you're the owner, but the documents show that you're renting or you're leasing. Someone said a proof of transfer. Thank you, India. Okay, receipt, a bill of sale, a bank statement. I mean, people giving all kinds of stuff. A contract of sale, contract, a cancel check. Yes, absolutely. It goes on and on and on. It's so easy. Why didn't he do this? A certified check from Fierce Photography. Absolutely. Someone said a credit check. He don't want to do that. Okay, I mean, there's a whole bunch more, but we'll leave it at that. So what I put here was a cancel check, official wire transfer document. Okay, basically from FDMG, FDMG bank record of purchase. In other words, you can pull up the bank and go, look here, look right here. Here's the withdrawal. Did he do any of that or anything that anyone else had mentioned here? No. That's right. Son said, hell no, as hell. All he did was he did a walkthrough. And I could do that. So what I'm saying is one way or the other, you should have proof. And see, when you all get all emotional, he done riled you up in that way. He manipulated you in that way. All y'all getting all so riled up. And you men, you need to come on off of the emotional high. Call me sexist if you want to, but women tend to be a little bit more emotional, a little bit more emotionally in tune with things. And Umar Johnson knows that. He'll but you men, that's not how you're supposed to be like that. Not like that, no. Yeah, I got her. Yeah, wow, yeah. No. You know, you go to a football game, you ain't gonna see me screaming and hollering for these men on the field, sweating and running around and tackling each other and throwing balls here and there and getting down up on their No, it's not gonna happen. I go to a basketball, not like I do, but if I went to a basketball game and just watched the basketball game, you ain't gonna see me screaming and cheering like a cheerleader. It's not gonna happen. Men posting each other up and sweating and grunting. It's not going to happen. Maybe I'll do things a little bit different these days. I don't know, but that's just me. And I'm not trying to cast aspersions. I'm just saying, if you got this man up here to get you all riled up and get you all emotional like that, ain't no man gonna get me emotional. Where I'm cheerleading. It's not going to, I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen. I don't care who it is. I might clap a little bit. All right, right on, bro. I might, I might do a little, go ahead. Yeah, right on, man. Yeah. I might do a little of that. But all this and this cheerleading, then got you all wrapped up into your emotions to the point where you won't even use your mental faculties to ask a critical question like, where is the evidence and proof? Whew, man, I tell you. That's okay. One way or another, the truth gonna come out. Tom always tell the truth. Don't get mad at me. I ain't mad at nobody. I'm not. Okay. So we did 1, 2, and 3. Number 4. Did Umar tell you how much money he had left over from the $750,000 after he purchased the school? And the answer is no. So the last question for you all, what would qualify as evidence, legal proof of how much money is left over from the $750,000 that's left over after Umar Johnson allegedly purchased this school? Please, come on, people. Look, we're almost done. Successful Ladies Live says zero logic. Absolutely. And I've been checking you out, sister. I've been following even before you know, because I know you did a video where you talked about one of my videos. I was checking you out before then. Okay. I think that you're pleasant. You're a pleasant young woman. Okay. So keep doing what you're doing. I like what you're doing over there on your channel. And I don't know how old you are. I just said young woman because I'm old. Okay. So I don't mean no disrespect. Okay. So what would qualify? Bank statements, stock? Absolutely. G, like, how's it going, G? G says bank statements. Outlaw says the ancestors is proof. The ancestors for good. And the moon and the cycles of the moon and the what they call it, what's the thing with the moon kits in front of us, the solar eclipses. What? That's enough for you all these days. That's enough for you all these days. Bring up the ancestors, talk about the astrological signs. You start talking about where the moon at on in the sky and the eclipses and all of this, that, the other, and the third. As Spock would say, it's thoroughly illogical. And I tend to agree. So most people are saying bank statement. You're right, India and delirious. Bank statements, that's all it takes. An account ledger, Black Anonymous, absolutely. How's it going, Maya? Thanks for tuning on in. Kat Robinson, how's it going? Kat, you have moderator privileges too, Kat. I don't know if you can see that or not. So do what you need to do if you need to do it. Okay. Bianca said he looks like the guy I left for my husband. What are you talking about? Umar? Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh no. Oh, dear Lyric says Umar ain't even Buster Douglas. Oh my goodness, y'all a hot mess. Okay. So what I wrote here was FDMG bank accounts. And the bank account should say FDMG, and that would be the proof. That's it. And he shows how much money is still left in the account. 0. How much money is left in the account. And then it also show what the purchase price was for the property. And that would be it. It's so simple because all he had to do is he's sitting there in the corner of his room with all that African stuff behind him. You're gonna call your women thoughts, and then you calling these young girls who were molested, and you say that they have they grow up to have thoughtless personality disorder. In other words, that hole, they're hoes. They become hoes, and then you're gonna have all this African stuff behind you talking all this African Black power talk. And we got to organize. You Black women, if you're wearing a weave or if you're processed, I'm gonna have to come to your house and shave you. What kind of man? If I need to shave you bald, I mean, what is going on here? I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. We're gonna get to that later because we're gonna go through the audio at a certain point. Okay, I know J3PO. He said Umar says he has no friends, but that's because he's a sociopath. Literally, he's a sociopath. He's unable to connect with human beings. He sees human beings as a resource and nothing more. A resource for money, a resource for sex, a resource for a place to stay. Up here begging people, talking about, can you find me a place to stay? In the city that I'm building the school, wouldn't you do that in advance? Wouldn't you already have that or made arrangements on that in advance, that you have a place to live near the school before you make the announcement? And you should be doing the groundwork in advance before you make, but he's in a rush because he's dealing with GoFundMe, he's dealing with PayPal and refunds being issued. So he's in a panic, and that's why everything has to be done as quickly as possible, including January 1st. He wanted to have that video done that he recorded back during the fall, him walking around in the building. That's back in the fall when he recorded that. I talked about that earlier. If you came in later, make sure you check this out in the archive. Very important point. Everything's in a rush. He thought he would have it done by January 1st. All the editing would be done so he can make an announcement, but it wasn't done by then. So he sets another day, February 14th. But then it's done a couple of days, it's finished a couple of days in advance of it. So then he comes out and he makes the announcement. And then right after he makes the announcement, he posts the video. Something else. Oh my God, you guys are hilarious. I'm sorry. It's a most said he's sleeping in the cafeteria now for good. He gonna be sleeping at the school. If he do own it, he gonna be sleeping there soon enough. Children gonna be coming to the school walking here. Hey, Principal Johnson, why are you sleeping under the table in the cafeteria? Well, you see, the ancestors told me this, and the eclipse was okay. I'm sorry. I told myself I wasn't going to do it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, I need to check myself on that. Okay, I apologize for that because I know that his supporters are watching, and I don't want to make fun of him. I'm not making fun of you supporters because you're victims. Okay, but this whole scenario is just so outlandish and ridiculous. It is so over the top. Even the video that where he's walking around and he's talking about he's walking into school. I mean, it's just so over the top, ridiculous. It really is. And when he's sitting and with the African stuff behind him, and he's sitting there and he's calling people haters and you're not coming into my school. And it's just so over the top. I'm sorry. Okay, let's finish up. Y'all having a good time? Vanessa said he's in there eating Lunchables and shit under the table, sleep, just because he likes a snack, right? He's gonna be able to snack at his shit. Children go home. Did you have a good time? Yeah, but someone stole my lunch. Who did? Principal Johnson stole my lunch. What? And don't bring no cookies. You better not bring no cookies because he loves cookies now. The children, the mama bake the cookies for the children. Go on, baby, take these cookies and give Principal Johnson, Principal Shoemake, go ahead and give him a couple of cookies. Okay, mama. Children run to school all excited and shit. Children run to school all excited and shit. Get up. Umar looking out the front window. I know you got some cookies. I can smell them cookies. yeah, Principal Johnson. My mama told me to get you 2. Can I get 3? But I only have 5. He run back to his office. And shut the door and lock it. Don't take no cookies to school, people. Don't do it. Oh, I'm sorry, people. I'm so sorry. Oh, I shouldn't have did that. I'm so sorry. It's funny though, but I should have did that. Okay, I'm sorry. I told myself I was going to do that. Okay. Oh goodness, it's just such a hot mess. The whole situation is a hot mess. These children are going to get jacked for their lunches. Boys gonna be coming home without their shoes. Like, where your shoes at, boy? It's snowing out here. Where's your shoes? Principal Shoemaker. What? Okay, I'm done. Okay. Oh man. The children. Oh, okay, that's it. He's gonna be hemming the children up in the hallways. Talking about, where's your donation? You bring your donation today? You didn't. Trifling ass black people. Okay, that's it for sure. That's it, people. I can go on and on because it's just such a hot mess and it's so over the top that we can have jokes for days. It's not difficult at all, but we're gonna leave it at that. I shouldn't have did that. Okay. All right, that's it. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, we're almost done. So I'd asked a question: did Umar tell you all how much money was left over after he purchased the school? And the answer is no. And what would have been proof? It's hard to come back from that. I'm sorry, people. It's just FDMG bank records. That would have been the answer. So the last thing I want to talk about is number 5, because that's what this is all about. It all comes back to money. And number 5 was, did Umar tell you how much money he needed to renovate? Right, because he came up with this three-pronged thing. I think he said something like acquisition, restoration, and what was the third one? Acquisition, restoration, and implementation, something like that. But he came up with these 3 things, and the restoration is really renovation. And what he said was that he needed $1 million to renovate. Wapa said he reminds me of the out of touch revolutionary brother in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. You're right about that. I remember that movie was hilarious. He down for the cause as long as no sacrifice needs to be made. Absolutely. And he hasn't sacrificed anything, people. We talked about that in the past. He hasn't sacrificed anything. He's just taking people's money. He's figured out a very clever scheme. Well, it's not clever to me, but it on the surface level, it may appear to be legit to people in it, but it's clever how he manipulates people, at least to that degree. And he's found a con, a very profitable con. But it's not as if he's sacrificing. He's not sacrificing. What has he sacrificed other than running his mouth? So you're right, Whopper. You're absolutely right about that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so he did tell people how much money he needed to renovate, and I think that that's the critical point moving forward. And the last thing that I wrote here was Umar Johnson told you what he needs, that he needs $1 million to renovate. Did he give you an itemized list of what needs to be renovated and how much it will cost? That's my last question for you all. So he asked for $1 million to renovate and needs it right away. I think he said like within the next 60 days or something like that. I got to go back and listen to the audio. But when he says that he needs $1 million to renovate, did he tell you, did he give you an itemized list of what needs to be renovated and how much it will cost? And everyone is writing no. So even you Umar Johnson supporters, did he give you guys a list of what needs to be renovated? So set the emotions aside and set your support aside of Umar Johnson, because that's not even the issue at this point. The issue is evidence and proof. And the answer is no. He didn't give, and he doesn't respect you guys enough as the people who have given him all this money to simply give you an itemized list. The point is that it's all about the money as we conclude. It's all about the money. And on one hand, Umar Johnson is being pressured because he doesn't have the outlet, the payment gateway of GoFundMe and PayPal anymore. And that's why he's saying, look, no, just send it to my P.O. box. But then on the other hand, he has the other issue of taxes and people getting their refund checks soon. So he has to make this move now so that he can gain access and be ready to gain access and already lay the groundwork to gain access to the infusion of money that's going to be coming into the Black community's pockets. And then he can take that money and redirect it into his pockets. And that's the money grab. That's the next phase of the scheme of Umar's school scam. Now, I'm going to be bringing some receipts for you all, and I'm going to give you all of this information to the best of my ability. If I'm unable to get a hold of this, I'm going to let you guys know. I'm going to say, look, I couldn't find this information, and I'll be honest with you all about that. But the information that I do find, I'm going to bring it to you, and that's exactly what Umar Johnson should have done in the first place. All right, I want to thank everyone for tuning on in. I really appreciate it. There was something else. Yeah, I talked about this, about the video that it was recorded in the fall of 2018. And there's you guys can go back and look and just look at the grass itself. We talked about that earlier. There's something else I want to share with y'all. And I did not release this information in advance of Umar Johnson making the school announcement, but did you guys know, that's the other thing. Did he give you guys the address of the school? That's the other question I forgot to ask. Real quick, this will be the last, this is the last question for sure. Did Umar Johnson give you supporters the address of the school, but did Umar Johnson give you non-supporters? Did he say anything about the address? And the answer is no. But you know what, I already knew what the address was before he even made the announcement. And there's someone else online who knew that before he even made, I could have given you guys an announcement before he gave the announcement. In fact, Anti Fringali, she gave the address before he made the announcement. And there's a reason why. Because there are people behind the scenes who know a lot more about what's going on with Umar Johnson than any of y'all, including you supporters. They know a whole lot more. And there's information that has come forth from various sources And if you guys knew half of the stuff that I know, but I can't release for different reasons, even you most stout supporters of Umar Johnson, you would jump ship. This was sent to me on January 27, 2019. Umar is going through with his mock school in Wilmington, Delaware, that he bought for cheap. But the reason why he needs free labor, and this is in advance of him making an announcement, right? He's begging for free labor. But the reason why he needs free labor and other free services and refuses to work with a board of directors for this undertaking is because he wants to do what he wants with the money, which is all kinds of foolishness. And everything that this person sent me, because there's a whole lot more that this person sent me, has panned out to be true. And I remember even when they sent me the information, I said, look, how do I know that this is true? And I couldn't release the information, at least not directly. I sent it to a couple of people and they released it, at least some of it. But you know, everything that they said actually turned out to be true. And see, what's scary about it is the other stuff that I cannot say, and I would not say that this person told me. The thing is that if a source gives you information and it turns out to be credible, and there's 90% of it has come to pass and has become true, then it's likely that that other 10% is also credible. And that other 10% that was sent to me, I cannot tell you guys, and I would not. I'm not in a position to do it. My goodness gracious. The address is 610-611 East 17th Street, Wilmington, Delaware, 19802. And I knew that on January 27, 2009. There's a brother on YouTube that knew it in advance of that. And Umar Johnson doesn't even give it. How is it possible that I could make the announcement in advance of Umar Johnson making an announcement? And the last thing I want to say, and this is the very last question, because people still sending me messages and saying he finally opened a school. You need to apologize. Did he open a school? And that's my question to you all. Did Umar Johnson open up a school? But we all know the answer to that. Sovereign Black Girl said, keep up the good work and send a super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's so much more to get into. And I mean, there's stuff that I want to show you all today in terms of my PowerPoint presentation, but I'm going to take my time with this. See, that's the other thing. I wanted to, even within my own stuff, I wanted to come to this with a level of calm and not simply react. And see, those of y'all who are put back into the spin cycle with Umar Johnson, you're simply reacting to his words. He's been running his mouth for a long time. But words should not be enough for you at this point. Especially, I'm sorry, you men, you got to really get the words, because it's about deeds. It's about what people do. Deeds, literally or figuratively. Literally or figuratively. It's about deeds, what a person does. You understand what I'm saying? So just because he says that he bought a school, and he may very well have, is it in his name? Did he actually buy it, purchase it? How much did it cost? If you did buy it, okay, now you're digging yourself another hole, because now you need to prove how much did you spend when you purchase this property. And all that information is going to be public record at a certain point, and some of it is already public. I just can't share with y'all. It's inevitable, but I'm gonna take my time with this. And am I gonna be reacting just because people feel like, oh, well, you ain't saying that now? No, what I'm doing is I'm doing my research, and I'm putting together my presentation, and I'm getting my receipts together, because that's what men should do when faced with these types of frauds. We don't get all emotional and get rah-rah and try to ride horseback and yeah, we got it. No, that's not what you do. What you do is you sit back and you get calm. And you start to do some critical thinking, and you start to do some research, and you start to put together a presentation, or you put together some sort of document that is comprised of all of the information that you have gathered. And then you have data points and things that you refer to, and then you get audio clips, and so that you can source, and you can mention, you can look at, okay, what did he say versus what is the actual reality of the situation, as opposed to simply accepting what he said, when knowing that he's a habitual liar in the first place. Words are not enough at this point. He has to show and prove. And for all y'all, and I'm just going to say this is going to be the last thing, for all y'all who it's enough just for him just to say things, tell you something, you really need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because for a man to tell another man something and that man accept it as being true without thinking critically about it, It's a compromisation, if you will. I'm not, well, I'll say it, of your masculinity. Prove it. Umar Johnson, prove it. And when if you prove it, great. Now let's go to the next. How much did you spend on this property? Okay, great. He shows that. Okay, great. Okay, this is what you men, you young men, you older men, rah Umar Johnson. This is what you should be doing. Okay, so you proved it, and you showed how much it costs. Okay, well, how much money is left over from $750,000 that you claim that you have collected up to this point? How much is left over of that? It's all about the money at this point, ladies and gentlemen. So at this point, my job is to research and discover whether or not Umar Johnson purchased the school. At this point, my job is to research and discover whether or not Umar Johnson's name is on the deed, assuming that he purchased it. Or is he renting? Or is it a lease? But he said that he purchased it and there's no mortgage. At this point, my job is to research and discover how much Umar Johnson paid for the school. Don't you think that we should all know that at this point? And at this point, my job is to research and discover how much of the $750,000 Umar Johnson had left over after he purchased the school. And I want to thank everyone for tuning on in. I also want to let y'all know that I'm not the only one looking into these issues. There's other people, and they're doing their research on this, and they're making the phone calls, and they're making the contacts to get the information that Umar Johnson should have provided to prove what he was saying. And the fact, on two levels, the fact that he did not give you guys this information is quite telling. But also the fact that you believe what he said without any evidence or proof is also quite telling. See, you don't have any power over what Umar Johnson is going to tell you, but you do have the power to think critically about what Umar Johnson is telling you. And if nothing else, this message for today in this video is simply for people to set the emotions aside for a moment. You know, got y'all so riled up and in your emotions, and you just, I told you so. I said, what? No, but he didn't tell you so. With evidence and proof. The point is that you have to think through this. You can't feel through this because it's your feelings that allows someone like Umar Johnson to manipulate you into to get into your pockets, and for you women to get into your pockets, but also to get into your drawers. What kind of man? Well, I don't remember what part this is. Someone want to tell me what part this is? Marcel. Marcel, we have me cracking up, but I can't read what he say because sometimes what he say, oh my God, it'd be hilarious though. Umar Johnson, it's not the true real, but Umar Johnson says, Lennon, let's take a vote on where we should point the FDMG domain name. Ask the group where it should forge. Umar Johnson, and this isn't the real Umar Johnson, but I know who this person is. Is it okay for me to share what you told me about that? You let me know in the chat room. Type it in all caps if it's okay. Yeah, okay, so this is part 8. You're right, just right, Genesis. He wants money and draws. That's his addiction. That's 2 of his addictions, by the way. We're not even going to get into that. That time we're going to tell. Is it? Oh, it's 9. Is this part 9? I mean, what's going on here? Okay, Umar Johnson. It's not really Umar Johnson, but I know who this person is. So I want you guys to be clear about something, because something that Anti-African God has pointed out is that Umar Johnson never intended to build a school or to open a school. Let's be very clear, to open a school. And he's stringing people along for like the last 9 years. Literally, it's been 9 years. But I don't even know if I should say that. No, I'm going to say it. So if someone is truly committed to something, and if this something is, let's say, to build a school, and let's say initially they file for nonprofit status for that school so they can collect the money under the nonprofit status so they don't have to pay taxes, or at least not the same types of taxes or same amount of taxes, however it works. If they're serious, they're going to keep that status. Okay, you guys understand what I'm saying? But Umar Johnson hasn't done that. But see, part of keeping that status is you have to report the amount of money that you are receiving. But Umar Johnson hasn't done that. But also with that status, that also means that publicly you have to disclose to the public, to your donors, how much money you have collected as well. But Umar Johnson doesn't do that either. Hasn't done that. So his status was revoked. And so, you know, that's quite revealing. But it's deeper than that. If you're serious about this, there is no legal entity called FDMG, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Family, the Money's Gone Academy, FDMG. There's no legal entity. And if you're going to build a school, there has to be some paperwork, a legal entity. You guys understand what I'm saying? He doesn't have any paperwork for anything. Not a deed, none of it. Not even for his degrees. Think about this for a moment. Does he have degrees? Maybe, but he doesn't have any paperwork to prove it. Does he have a school? Maybe, but he doesn't show any paperwork to prove. The paperwork thing, that's not something, he just don't do it. How you can be a principal of school? You can't even handle basic paperwork. Think about it. So if your nonprofit is revoked because you're not filing properly and you're not giving the appropriate information to the government, you're not providing, you know, how much money that's coming in and a ledger and all that stuff, how serious are you about opening up this school? There's no legal entity, FDMG. But get this. Umar Johnson once had a website, www.fdmgacademy.com. And it only costs, I mean, you can get a domain name for like $4 a year, $8 a year, and something. It just depends on where you go. $12 a year sometimes. And then if you purchase multiple years, you know, if you're serious about this school, obviously what? You're going to have a website for this school. This is so ridiculous. Think about this. Where's the FDMG website at? You've been raising money for, and he's saying 4 years. No, it's much longer than that. But you've been talking about this school, and you said the school was going to open in 2000. That it was going to open September 11, 2013. And you said that in 2010. We're 9 years into this, and you don't even have a website for this school. There's no legal entity, but the basic thing is you have to have a website. What year is this? I can understand if this was like 1985 or something like that, but what year is this? So he don't even have the sense to renew the website domain name. Oh. Boy, he's playing y'all so bad. He's playing you Umar Johnson followers. I feel bad for you all. Y'all get mad at me, but I care about y'all. How you gonna build a school and don't have a website? You get the domain, but at a certain point, you don't pay the $8 or the $7 or the $6. You don't collect it $750. I'd say suppose you don't collect over $1 million. Now you ask for $1 million, but you don't collect it admittedly, what you admitted to, $750,000 from Black people, and you ain't got enough damn sense, literally and figuratively. Think about it, sense. Where the money at? You don't got the mental sense to put $6, $8 down to hold on to that domain name, huh? Maybe because you ain't got literal sense. You ain't got the money. You're selling pillows, FDMG pillows. You ain't got the money. How serious are you about it? That's just a website. Have my wife's website redone right now. We'll get my website done next. If I have some sense. Waiting on that refund check. Y'all see my point though? How serious is he? So the point is that the person that's in the chat room that's called Umar Johnson, they already sent me a message. And guess what? Umar Johnson didn't renew that because he had no intention of opening up a school, FDMGacademy.com. And the person in the chat room named Umar Johnson actually is the owner, the owner now of that. He actually purchased it. Umar don't even own. I'm talking about the real Umar. I'm talking about AKA Big Papa, AKA Jermaine Shoemaker, AKA Cookie Monster, whatever. That Umar Johnson didn't even pay. He just, no, I don't need the domain. No, it's okay. And so this other brother went and snatched it up, and he's holding on to it now. He sent me a message today. Ain't that something? And I told the brother, a couple of weeks ago, because I've been doing a lot of research on Umar Johnson. I said, I love it. I loved it a couple of weeks ago. I was looking up to see if there was a FDMG.com or FDMGacademy.com, and I couldn't find anything. I was like, well, that's interesting. You're gonna build a school, and you're talking all this yik yak, but you don't even have a domain. You don't even have a website. How serious are you about opening up this school? That's just something for y'all to think about. Okay. That's it. That's all I got, people. And I didn't mean for this to go this long, but how we do. I was really trying to get up here for just a couple of minutes, but you guys got these questions to think about, and everyone should be thinking about this. And again, my job at this point is to get the information for you all and report it back to you. That's it. That's what I'll be doing moving forward. I'll just be looking, and if I can find information in a reasonable amount of time, then I'll report on it. If I can't find the information in terms of whether or not Umar Johnson legally purchased this school, then I'll admit that. I'll say, I couldn't find any information. Or if I find information that says, no, he did, I'll present that to you all. And I hope I find it, because once he gets to that point, okay, now things get really real, because now he's dug himself a serious hole now, because that means he's put money down. And now he has to open the school. There's no more excuses. That's the last thing I want to say. We were talking about excuses that Umar Johnson followers make for Umar Johnson, including why he can't open up or why he can't purchase the school. Well, you can't use any of those excuses now, because he said, at least that's what he said. He done said that he didn't purchase the school. So you can't say that it's white supremacy. You can't say that it's the haters, and you can't say it's because people ain't donating. You can't make all those excuses. What about what you're doing? Well, you didn't donate. You can't use any of those excuses anymore. Those diversionary excuse. You can't do any of that. Because he's gonna come out and see he done messed up. He done messed up now. He done messed up because he's dug himself a serious hole, because now he has to show and prove. And whether that is the receipts in terms of where's the money at a certain point, it's going to become public record if he actually purchased, or if he didn't, it's going to become public record, because I already own the websites. I already got the receipts. I'm just waiting. I'm giving it the websites and the individuals a little bit more time to update, just in case maybe he did purchase it. I want to make sure that they have enough time to update that website, or those websites. And it's not just me. There's other people working on this. Give them a little bit more time, because if it does come up that he's okay, he did. Okay, so if he did purchase this property, okay, well then what's going to also come up is how much he bought it for. Now it really starts to get serious, because now you start to get into the figures, and see, for him, it's all about the money. That's why he doesn't tell you anything about the money unless he's asking you to send him some more money. But the money that you send him, he's not going to tell you anything about where it's at or how much is left over. He's not going to give you any kind of verifiable proof. And that's really what this whole it's not even presentation. What this whole live stream is about today is for us to switch and move away from the emotionalism and the ultra emotionalism, and move into the realm of intellectualism and critical thinking. And you men, you need to really get yourself together, because I see you out here acting all like this and all like this and all like that. It's not a good look, bro. We got to do better than that. Got this man out here having you in your feelings than women in their feelings. I'm sorry, y'all call me sexist if you want to. Okay. Listen, people, as more information comes together, I'll continue to compile my PowerPoint presentation. And when I release that information, it's going to really cause y'all to really think. But, in the meantime, I'll continue to do my research and continue to dialogue with the people and the individuals who are doing their part in terms of getting all this information. And once I get a hold of enough of it, I'll release that information to you all, whatever it may be. And then you can decide whether or not this Umar Johnson school scam is legit, or whether or not this school scam is a school scam. Okay. Thank y'all for tuning on in. I really do appreciate it. Bianca's in the house today, and Priscilla's in the house. Y'all funny. WTM is in the house. Says, when's the next live? I don't know. I got to go back to work tomorrow. Okay, so I'm not quite sure. As information comes to me, I'll be sure to update people. I do have Patreon too, so I do updates there as well. And I did 3 videos today for Patreon and premium members on my website. Okay. All right. Thanks for tuning on in, Born, and including those of y'all who don't, you're upset. Thank y'all for tuning on in too. I just want to give some shots out to people, Dandy and Tima and Priscilla and Tyree and India and Outlaw. Y'all funny. Say Wayne go donate. What's up, Ferdado? Ferdado had me cracking up the other day. G Light, thanks for tuning on. Good to see you too. Or yeah, at least see your avatar here. Melanin in Asia. Hope everything's going well for you. And B Buccaneer and Tima and Kat. Thanks for being here, Kat. I appreciate it. Okay. And Blessed by Blessed by Him's in the house too. Thank you so much. I want to see y'all lots of love, peace, and positivity. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed the show today. I guess you can call it a show. Perdado and Mighty Mouse as well. Delirious had me cracking up today. Let's see. What is it? Do you plan on sell it back for a higher? That's interesting. Let me just ask this question. Sally B says, at Umar Johnson, I don't care about Umar Johnson. I'm sincerely curious. Do you plan to sell it back for a higher price? No, I don't think that's what Umar Johnson planned, because we talked about it, and he's Umar. It's not the real Umar, but the person who owns the domain name FDMG Academy.com. They're thinking about what they should do with it. Because really, there's a lot that you can do with it in terms of bringing Umar's fraudulent ass to justice. There's a lot that can be done with it. But the fact that Umar doesn't own that anymore, and that he's not, it shows he's not serious about this. Because that's basic. You got to have a website. This is 2019, people. This is not 1994, 1984. Thanks for tuning on in. And Goddess, I really appreciate it. I'm not going to read what you said. And Mark, everybody else, thank you so much. All right. Listen, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening or wherever you may be. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful upcoming week. And I will be talking with you all very, very soon. In the meantime, please, people, heed the warning, as Anti-Afro Svengali says. And I want to encourage everybody to head on over to Anti-Afro Svengali when you have some time and check out her video, subscribe. Most of what I talk about is sourced from her work, and her saying at the close of all of her videos is something that we all need to remember and we all need to practice. And that simply is, buyer beware. All right. Love y'all. Take care. Peace.